Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's-A-Mii here, and today we are doing our room tour for 2025. This is my office slash Nintendo game room. I actually don't play games in this room, so I guess it's not really... It's a room full of games. It's not where I play them, though. That's for the living room. That's on the nice OLED. A lot has changed in the past 12 months since I moved here and had a lot more space to have my nice little setup here. This is where you see my background. This is where you see where I record videos, the Naruto poster classic, and here's kind of an overview shot of the entire room. I've added, I think, 3 new bookcases since last time. I also, when I did the room tour last time, I had my big, nice TV in the room, along with, I think, a recliner and another chair. That has all been removed. That is all in the living room now, and this is just my kind of office space where I'm surrounded by hundreds of games at all times. So we have quite a bit to go over today. Here you can see some Switch special editions. We'll go over every shelf a little bit more in depth in just a bit, but just to kind of give you an overview. It's not the biggest room in the world, but I'm happy with what I've done with the space here. We'll go over, like I said, every shelf in more detail as we go through, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. A lot of nice new additions in the past year. But starting off here, we have the door. Actually, I think I need to wipe this thing down. I'm seeing some grime on this door, but we have my this is I think a GameStop promo poster for Naruto Rise of the Ninja. We found this at Goodwill Bins maybe a year or two ago, along with a Final Fantasy Tactics poster and one I'm misremembering. But I'm a huge Naruto fan. I loved Rise of the Ninja growing up. I prefer Storm, but Rise of the Ninja is still the GOAT, so kind of a cool little backdrop piece there. I wasn't really sure what else to put on the door. On the top of this bookcase here, we have some of my Switch and 3DS special editions, as well as this is just my entire bookcase of Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, as well as more retro stuff here, as well as some more Switch accessories. This is kind of a miscellaneous shelf, I guess, but starting off at the top here, Tears of the Kingdom with the Zelda Wood, Bravely Second, Bravely Default, Metroid Dread. This one's cool, the Dark Pit Figma. Picked this up, I think, a year or two ago. Very cool. I have 2 Figmas. This one, and then another one that I'll show in a bit. That one's actually opened, but I don't know. I haven't opened the Dark Pit Figma. I'm just not sure where I want to put it yet. Here's a little Kirby, very cheap plastic Kirby toy. And then we have my Game Boy stuff. So this has been... I don't think I had, any of these this time last year. I've grown the Game Boy collection quite a bit, specifically Game Boy Advance. I mean, there's some Game Boy and Game Boy Color in there, but this is really just a lot of GBA stuff, some really high-quality stuff. Onimusha Tactics was a very recent pickup. Of course, I did that huge buyout from one guy last summer. That's where most of this stuff came from, but I've been adding more in the past couple months. Metroid Fusion is... I'm so happy to have Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission Complete, and nice protectors. Very nice. You can see all the cat scratches on my hand. But yeah, super happy with how the Game Boy collection has grown. This is just kind of a shelf left for growing, I guess. Then we go into the DS stuff here. I want to play more DS games in 2025. I was reflecting on what I played last year, and DS and 3DS got neglected way more than I am proud to admit. So in 2025, I want to get some more of these under my belt. I already played a lot of them, don't get me wrong, but I haven't played Mass Attack or Canvas Curse or Superstar Ultra, so you see what I mean? There's still a lot of random DS games that I have not played. Prime Pinball, currently going through some Metroid Prime goodness, and I'll have reviews up for those soon. But yeah, DS collection, happy with where it's at. I want to add a couple more things, but I'm missing some Pokemon stuff still, right? That I can't have that. I gotta finish up the Pokemon sets. But overall, DS, pretty happy where this is. Of course, this is the final shelf here, some Wario stuff. I actually don't think I've shown this in pickups videos yet. Tomodachi collection, of course, imported from Japan. Here we have this little Texas little guy. Here's this Phantom armor from Phantom Hourglass. I don't even know where we found that. It must have been at Goodwill. He doesn't have a stand, so he doesn't stay up, as well as the Mario Pinball Land little promo toy. Here we have my Pro controllers. Unfortunately, this Monster Hunter Rise one got messed up in storage. The controller's fine. I use the controller every day. That's my main Switch controller, but the box got a little crushed. Here's the Kingdom controller, still sealed. Here's the GameCube controller for Smash Ultimates, as well as the Joy-Con charge grip, and then just a bunch of Joy-Con. A lot of those are still sealed, actually. So when in doubt, when I start having some Joy-Con drift, I can move to those. Here we have some more retro stuff. My NES games. Captain America is a really cool one I got from Olivia's dad. some SNES stuff. Once again, I don't think I had most of this. I definitely didn't have any of these N64 games last year, so of course I had to make room to integrate these. All of these NES games were found in a Goodwill outlet. They were all like in one case, or pretty much all of them. Here we have some OG Game Boys, Game Boy Advances. Here we have some Sega Master System games, as well as some Genesis and a little bit of Sega CD here. A lot of that's from Olivia's dad. A lot of that is from Goodwill outlets. Here's something cool. This is a lot of CD soundtracks for games, and also like some maybe couple PC games in here. This one's neat. The Ocarina of Time soundtrack, I believe, here. So that one was a cool find. I found the case for like a Japanese Super Mario 64 soundtrack, and it was just the case, which was really sad. So I just, I bought it. I still sold it, but man, that was unfortunate. I wish I had been in there. I would have kept that for sure. Some BDNA plushes, as well as some more loose cartridges, a very small loose N64 cart collection, some DSs, 3DSs, as well as all of my Switch Online controllers. So the N64 controller, as well as like the Famicom and NES controllers, SNES, Genesis. All of those are down here on this shelf. I wish those boxes were a little bit nicer to display, but you know what? They got to live somewhere, and that's where they're going to live. So that is the first shelf. Very happy with that shelf. Very happy with how it looks. And also, I mean, a lot of that stuff got added to the collection in 2024. So happy with where all that is at. Next up, we move on to the middle shelf here. On the top, we have my Alarmo box, as well as Shrabby from Bugsnax here. That was a little fan gamer plush. Olivia just got me this for Christmas. Ultimate Christmas gift. Been wanting to get this for so long, but it's kind of hard to find, especially in good condition. Of course, this is Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World with the amiibo. Here's my Alarmo, checking for dust there. Unplugged. Have not used Alarmo since I got it. My Snivy plush, as well as the special editions for the Famicom Detective Club games. I figured they kind of fit nicely there. There's a little Tekken 8 pre-order bonus. I wasn't really sure where to put that. And then this is my 3DS shelf. So 3DS, similar to DS, I really want to like get more of these done in 2025. I mean, I grew up with the 3DS. I played most of these games as they were coming out, but like at the time of recording, I actually just rolled credits on a Miracle Mask for the first time. Excited to play Azra and Legacy, and there are some odds and ends on 3DS that I have not played. Detective Pikachu is one. A couple of these Dragon Quest games. Dragon Ball Fusions is one I've long thought about playing. But like the main stuff, Fire Emblem, I'm done with those. I've played those. Although I'm always ready for a Fire Emblem Echoes replay. Here's my Fragrant Story like code and box, but I accidentally ripped it when I was opening it. Freaky Forms, that's a classic. That's a weird one that got a physical release. I have almost every first-party Nintendo game on 3DS, so like, especially with Olivia also got me Epic Yarn for Christmas. That was a hard one to find. I'm not missing much. The Style Savvy games I don't have. I don't really care about them that much, but for the sake of completing the set, I kind of would like to get them, as well as, I'm trying to think. I mean, the Yokai Watch Blasters, Red Cat Core, I'm missing that one. I'm not missing much 3DS first party, and I have most of the Atlas games, most of the JRPGs I want. So 3DS, I'm feeling pretty good about 3DS. Here's another one I want to get through this year, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and also Layton's Mystery Journey. I just want to catch up on all the Layton games this year, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, 3DS, I'm pretty good on 3DS. I have most of what I want here, so happy that this is pretty much set. Final Fantasy, or Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy, Tomodachi Life. That one, Tomodachi Life spiked in value over the past couple months. I don't know if you've looked at it on eBay recently. Good lord. Project Crawlstone, this is not Nintendo published, but it's actually one I just added recently to the collection. That's one I still want to play. And then we have some Japanese stuff down here. A lot of stuff that never got localized, like Dragon Quest XI, specifically the 3DS version. There's some remakes of the Dragon Quest Monsters games down here. Some anime stuff. Here's Atelier Rorona, I believe, as well as all of the Monster Hunter games. I originally was going to do a video on a Double Cross because, if you don't know, it actually has crossplay between the Switch version, but now that's not going to happen because, the servers are down. Here's my bigger box special edition 3DS stuff, a lot of Atlas cardboard. Here's my Circle Pad Pro for the base 3DS. I still need one for the XL. Pokemon Shredder Lab imported from Japan, Shakedown Hawaii, Coltsep Revolt. Some neat stuff overall. I'm pretty good on 3DS, so I really do have most of what I want at this point. Just a few odds and ends that I would like to add over the next couple of years, hopefully. And then we move to what is absolutely my favorite shelf in the game room. So at the top here, we have all of my Nintendo Switch OLEDs and lights specifically. I have my box for my base Switch somewhere else. Here's the little Joy-Con charging stand they released. back in October, I want to say. I just have my Skyward Sword Joy-Con on there. I figured they look kind of nice. But so yeah, I have the base white Switch OLED, the Splatoon 3 OLED, Scarlet and Violet OLED, Tears of the Kingdom OLED, and that beautiful Mario Red one. I really, really like the Mario Red one, as well as the Hyrule Switch Lite and the Zacian Zamazenta. Here's my soundproofing setup, by the way. I have like the textured wall so that they don't really stick to the wall very well, so they're always falling down. I don't even know where that sound panel went, but this is why I love this shelf. This is my Xenoblade and Fire Emblem Shrine. I really have always wanted to have like a nice place to display all of my Xenoblade stuff, because Xenoblade is my favorite Nintendo franchise. So I was very happy that I was able to make some room here, and each game kind of has its own shelf. This is the Xenoblade 1 shelf. We have the soundtrack, we have the Wii game, the new 3DS version, as well as the Switch Special Edition, and the Shulk amiibo kind of representing all over here, a little close-up of him. Then we move on to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 shelf, my favorites in the series. Similarly, we have Torna and the base game, as well as the Special Edition, as well as the Pyra and Mithra amiibo, looking absolutely beautiful. Same thing there, soundtrack for that game individually still sealed. Then we have Xenoblade 3 with my Mio Figma, the only Figma I've ever actually opened. This thing, it's kind of hard to actually put these things together, because like you have to like really force the hands on to like the joints, right? Or because you can like change their poses. Here we have the Noah and Mio amiibo. So yeah, happy with that shelf as well. Here's once again the same thing, similar, just standalone soundtrack that's still sealed, because right below it you can see I have, this is the special edition soundtrack for Xenoblade 3. This comes with like a replica flute from the game, which is awesome, as well as the Trinity box set soundtrack, which has all of the games, or at least Xenoblade 1, 2, and 3 are in that huge box set. Super cool, super rare. Happy I pre-ordered that. Here's a little Xenoblade X shelf. Still have not played Xenoblade X. That will be happening in March. Very happy that that game is coming to the Switch, as well as just some miscellaneous here. Xenoblade 2 art book, Xenosaga guide, Xenosaga 1 and 2, and Xenogears. I do not have Xenosaga 3. That game is super expensive. And then I had extra space on the shelf, and I was like, okay, what can I put here? I was thinking maybe Pokemon stuff, but I was like, you know what? This is pretty similar. I had so much of it. I figured I'll do a little Fire Emblem display. Echoes is my favorite Fire Emblem game, but here we have the Fates Special Edition next to a little Corrin plush. Here's some new stuff from this year, some imported Super Famicom games, as well as Shadow Dragon on DS, as well as the like anniversary release there. Fire Emblem Engage is kind of down here by itself with Warriors 3 Hopes. That's the European Special Edition for that game, as well as 3 Houses. So the reality is, when Switch 2 comes out, this shelf will probably have to go. I'm sad to say it, but like I'm gonna need more shelf space, but it's been nice while it has lasted. Very, very happy with how this turned out, and eventually when I get into an even bigger space, I will definitely have an even nicer Xenoblade setup in the future. And then moving to the next wall here, I have a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate poster, I think from Nintendo Force, and then what is definitely my least organized shelf next to a little space heater. This is just kind of like my miscellaneous shelf. I have a bunch of PS1 games and a couple Dreamcast games. I need to figure out a good spot for these. I just did some moving of the PlayStation and Wii U stuff, so this is just a messy shelf here. We have some amiibo, some box protectors, extra shelves, an extra hat. That is, I need to take care of that, but it's nice to have a little place to put some extra things. The sick Dragon Ball Z wall scroll, awesome Ben's finds, and then the Switch shelf. I'm not gonna go super in depth here. I posted a 4 or 5 hour in-depth collection like tour, I guess, for this a few months back, so definitely check out that. I'll go over every single game in that video, but I will show the little pickle here that Olivia added to the sets. Of course, we have even more Switch special editions at the top. No More Heroes, Unicorn Overlord, both versions of the Nintendo World Championships game, my Taiko no Tatsujin kind of drum sets, and then, yeah, just a ton of Switch stuff. You might notice I have space on every shelf because I'm adding so much to Switch so regularly. I left like 4 or 5 slots for games on each shelf, so that way when I have to integrate, it's not a freaking nightmare like it used to be, right? Because I used to make everything super snug, but I have some room to grow here, which is pretty nice, as you can see, especially on that final shelf there. So nice, a bit of room to grow. I do have some more big box, or I guess a medium box games down here. The Pretty Presents collections. I think Farmagia is down here. Switch Sports, Let's Sing 2025. These are not in alphabetical order at all. They're actually just kind of thrown around, so I need to organize this. Some big box like variants for first party games like Breath of the Wild with the little Explorer's Guide. But yeah, overall very happy with where my Switch collection is at. Really don't have many notes to add there, not many games to add to the collection. Then we come over to my desk that is littered with games I'm currently gonna do videos on. Here's my cable management. Awful. This is a standing desk. That's what those little buttons are there. I edit on a Mac Studio. Here are my little ring lights. You probably don't really care about this stuff. This is like office stuff. There's my phone. There's the gingerbread man I murdered in the New Year's video, I think, as well as just some other things. Here's my chair. It's just, I don't even know. I got it on Amazon. I have a little blanket there for when it gets cold. I use an Audio-Technica AT2020 USB mic. Currently editing this video, kind of videoception there. A little lint roller there for when the cat hairs get a little crazy. But not too bad. I like this desk a lot. It's very wide. I was thinking about getting a third monitor, but I think it would be too much space taken up. I like to have a little bit of room here. But then we move on to the PlayStation shelf. Now, this used to be up until a couple weeks ago, my Wii U, GameCube, Wii kind of space, but I've been adding so much to PS5 and PS4 recently that I just had to rip the Band-Aid off and move PlayStation over here. It felt wrong having it on the shelf that's kind of behind the door we'll get to. But at the top, you can still see some remnants of when it was a Wii U Nintendo-themed shelf. Mario Teaches Typing. That's the gold Mario movie vinyl that was exclusive to PAX West, as well as some bigger box Wii U games. But then we get into the PS5 stuff. You guys know if you've been watching the videos, I've been on a huge PS5 kick. Did the same thing here. There's some slack on these shelves for when I get new things to add to the collection. Also, there's just a lot of stuff missing because I'm currently playing a bunch of PS5 games. There was some on the desk that you saw, but yeah, this is the entire PS5 collection. I will probably do at some point this year a dedicated like PS5 collection video, PS4 collection video, PS3, PS2, so on and so forth, because I've really only done 3DS and Switch, I believe. So I want to go and do a couple of those for PlayStation, talk about each game a little bit more in depth here. But just to give you an overview, here's all of the PS4 stuff. Missing a lot of PS4 stuff, honestly, because that was when I bought a lot of PS4 games digitally when I was younger. And the great thing about PS4, most of that stuff is still pretty cheap to collect for. The Resident Evil games, I have all of those. I've had those for a long time. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'm missing some first-party stuff, some RPGs, that kind of thing. But I do have a lot of what I would want on PS4, all the Yakuza stuff. A little bit of a gap here before we go to PS3. Almost every single PS3 game here was thrifted, with the exception of like these Dragon Ball games. I bought those, right? The Dynasty Warriors games, but like the God of War saga, Gran Turismo's, GTA, the Harry Potter game, almost all of this stuff was found at Goodwill. The Mass Effect trilogy in that awful condition there. So PS3, I don't know. I don't love collecting for PS3. I grew up with PS3. I had a PS3 when I was very young. It's not the most fun to collect for. I don't know why that is necessarily. I think with PS4, it's like, oh, well, PS4 games are on PS5, so there's more incentive to me to buy a PS4 game, even though I have the PS3 hooked up. But then we have all the PS2 stuff, which actually does not fit all on this shelf. As you'll see here, I had to do something really stupid because there wasn't enough space to finish PS2 on this shelf right here. We'll skip the closet. We'll come back to that in a second. I had to expand PS2 down to the bottom shelf on the next couple of shelves here with the Wii U stuff. Not happy about it, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do when you're working with a pretty limited space. Or I mean, it's limited for what I have. It's not that small of a room, right? I do have a lot of bookcases. But yeah, PS2 is currently stretched out between two different bookcases. I mean, it's not the most ideal situation, but I'm just glad to have more space for PS5 and PS4 to grow in 2025. Here I have some little hooks for all my hats that I wear, although they almost never end up here. They're usually just laying around on the couch and other parts of the house. Here's my closet. So this is pretty cool. I just put up this little like chain and have a bunch of Kirby and Pikmin plush hanging up here. These are pretty cute. This one kept talking back to us, so we had to put some tape to shut him up. But here we have some more Pikmin things here, Olimar, as well as the flying Pikmin. I need to get a white Pikmin plush, but I figured this was a cute little way to display some of my more favorites plush, I guess. They all have the little tags, so they hang off perfectly. The light switch is almost perfectly behind that bookcase. But yeah, this is just a ton of boxes. These are mostly empty console boxes, some Wii U stuff, some special editions. I have 2 of Imaginators on Wii U. I don't really know how that happened or why, as well as just my Death Stranding special edition down there, some totes full of like miscellaneous wires and like junk games, that kind of thing. My PS5 Pro box, my best purchase of 2024. And then we move to what is the final shelf, and this was where PlayStation used to be, so you can see a little bit of a remnant of that with the PSP stuff on top. But this is where the Wii U, Wii, and the GameCube games have moved, which is, it's funny because like I'm actually about to go on a little bit of a GameCube kick. I could feel it in my bones. There's a lot of GameCube games I haven't played, so I'll have to move stuff around a little bit in the future. But on the top here, we have another copy of Xenosaga that was actually thrifted not too long ago, as well as some PSP games, not the biggest in the world. I have a couple Naruto games there. Actually, I have all of the Naruto games on PSP. That was like the main thing I wanted to get there. Resident Evil Big Box, one of my favorites. Goodwill finds. My sole PS Vita game, I actually don't have a PS Vita. That's something I would like to get. Maybe not this year, but I would like to go back to PSP. I had one growing up, but I sold it at some point. Here's some inbox consoles. A lot of these were added in the past 12 months as well. The GameCube, the 3DS, as well as, this 2DS I bought maybe 2 or 3 years ago. That's a pretty sick 2DS, as well as the launch DS with the GBA there. Here's my Bunker plush to go with my Strappy plush from earlier, as well as a couple little Squishmallow clips here. There's Avery. That's pretty cute. Little Ludens figure from the Death Stranding Special Edition. And then, yeah, the Wii U set. So I'm going for a full Wii U set if you are new here. I guess I really haven't talked much about Wii U on this channel because I'm at the point, I'm not sure the exact number I'm missing, but I think I want to say I'm missing like 15 games. And the thing with the Wii U library is, I mean, I already have all the stuff I really, really care about. There's, I would say, 2 real games I'm missing, being Axiom Verge, which was limited run, as well as Project Zero, which is a European import. That's the only first-party game I'm missing. Nintendo did publish that game. I only got a digital release here in the West. But the issue is, all of the games that are left are things like A Book of Unwritten Tales 2 and Turbo, and they're like these $100 plus games, and they're garbage, right? They're licensed shovelware. So eventually I will pull the trigger. Eventually, hopefully these prices maybe come down a little bit more to where I'm willing to pay. I would probably spend $50 on Turbo. I don't know if I can do 100 because I do want to complete this set. Here's some of the Dragon Quest 10 versions. This is something I got into a lot last year. So there's all these different like cover variants of this game. Not necessary for the complete set if you're going for all unique games, but something fun to go for, especially as a Dragon Quest fan. I guess a blossoming Dragon Quest fan. Same thing with the Monster Hunter Frontier MMO. These all have different variants. Almost done with the Dragon Quest ones, missing a lot of the Monster Hunter ones. And then we move into Wii. So Wii, I feel similar to DS in that, I mean, I have most of these things. I mean, I need to play more of them. But, I don't know. The Wii library, once again, I grew up with Wii. I love Wii. It's not that great, though. Like, especially, like, in terms of games I've missed, right? Like, I've played all of the bangers on Wii, with maybe very few exceptions, like Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. I don't have that game. And then GameCube, this is one that I'm really going to focus on, I think, here coming soon, because I have missed a lot of these games. I played Sunshine, I played Wind Waker, I played Twilight Princess, right? Melee, Double Dash, but, like, I haven't played WarioWare, Wario World. There's a lot of weird stuff. Custom Robo, Prime 2 is one, so... yeah, this is pointing out again the freaking PS2 shelf thing there. So a lot of GameCube going to happen in 2025, I think, as I actually just bought a copy of a certain GameCube game that I will be playing in the very near future. But that is going to do it for today's room tour. It's just a big square, man, with a bunch of games in it and a desk. But I know people have been asking me to do an updated one, and the room did actually change quite a bit in the past year. Also, because I know I will get so many comments about this. I always get comments about this. The bookshelves I use are Oscar media shelves. If you go on Amazon and search Oscar, O-S-K-A-R, you can find these. The reason I love these so much is because they are not that deep, right? So they can pretty much perfectly fit one game here. So, you know, a lot of like bookcases you buy at maybe like at Walmart or something, they're going to be too deep. Also, this is the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. So this bookcase kind of came past the light switch for the room. I bought this extender that's supposed to be for kids. I flipped it upside down. So that's how I that's how I managed to turn the light on and off, because it just perfectly covered the light switch. Probably the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think of the collection in the comments down below. What do you think I should change? What do you think I should move around? I'm pretty happy with this, but as the Switch 2 is coming out this year, I accept that some sacrifices must be made realistically, so that Xenoblade and Fire Emblem Shrine will probably be going bye-bye. But that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, folks, peace.